Welcome back friends to another video lecture on the topic identification and curation of OERs. In this video lecture we will be discussing about how you will identify and search OERs, which is of course available in the internet. Then why it is done, why you are identifying these OERs. Then a new term like the curation comes into the teaching learning processes, which means if you are a teacher and if you are teaching any course using technology, then how you will identify the open educational resources, teaching learning resources which are digital in nature, where it is available, and if it is available in the internet, how you will identify that and how you will make use of such resources for your teaching learning purposes. So, that is what curation is about, not just identifying, you will be categorizing, you will be selecting resources which are useful for your classrooms, for your students, and that will be used in the teaching learning processes. So, friends, this is in general the content of this video lecture. So, let us start with the simple explanation of OER. In the first video which was relating to OER, we were discussing that they are nothing but they are any form of teaching learning resources having an open license, and the most popular or commonly used open license is the Creative Commons license. So, any digital teaching learning resources which are available in the internet and having an open license along with it is considered to be an OER. So, what is the use of this license? We do not have to struggle to get the permission. If the open license allows you to reuse that material, of course, that can be done without taking the permission, but there are some restrictions, but in general OERs having an open license can be reused, adapted, and can be used for your students in your classrooms. So, friends, any teaching learning resources which are digital in nature having an open license is considered to be an OER. Now, what are the different forms of OER? We have already discussed the different forms of OERs. It can be any teaching learning resource which are digital in nature. Say for example, an image can be made an OER, a graphic, picture, photograph, audio programs, video programs. It can be an e-text, any e-book, or it can be simply a PowerPoint presentation or any presentation. And the list is not ending. It can be again an animation, simulation, any VR, AR content. It can be curriculum maps, a complete textbook, any streaming videos, any multimedia applications. It can be a complete course material, a course even itself. So, there is absolutely no end to that. Any digital resource which has an open license is an OER, and this takes various forms. Now, let us discuss about if we have the facility, if the teachers have the facility or freedom to use any such open educational resources which are available in the internet, then how you will use it in your teaching learning purpose. The Commonwealth of Learning in 2015 has given 3 broad ways. Of course, this is not that way limited to these 3 ways, but of course, we can use in this 3 ways. Like the first one is mixing, which means you can combine different OERs and adding additional content to produce entirely a new content that suits your local context. Say for example, we have a PowerPoint presentation on velocity, say for example, a content of physics. So, this might have prepared by a foreigner, somebody who is residing outside our country, and they might have prepared this PowerPoint presentation for their students, but of course, many things like the definition, the formula which is required for calculating the velocity all remains the same across the globe. So, then you can use that OER, you can make some changes in that, you can add something which suits your classroom students or your students, and that can be used. So, something like mixing, we are taking different digital teaching learning resources, we are mixing something to that, then this is used in our teaching learning purposes or the teacher's classroom where she or he teaches. So, mixing is one of the ways which Cole points out. The second one is adaptation, which occurs when one OER used and multiple adaptations are developed to suit multiple contexts. Say for example, again take the case of a PowerPoint presentation. You will be using it for your teaching learning purposes in the 6th standard, 7th standard. So, when you are using PowerPoint presentation in the 6th standard classroom, you will make some adaptations, you will make some changes. Again, this is required if it is to be used in the 7th class or 7th standard. So, in multiple contexts, making different changes or revising the material. So, this is adaptation. Third way which Cole points out is asset extraction, which says only selected assets or parts of an educational resource material are extracted and used in a completely different context. Say for example, we have an e-text, a complete book may be running for some 50 or 100 pages, and for your purpose you need only some pages like maybe the content which is available in the 6th page and 7th page. So, you take the material which is there in that 6th or 7th page and this is used in your classroom. So, that way you are taking a portion of the material which is available in the form of an OER. So, friends, these are the common ways which Cole points out. Now, if that is the case, then we will move on to OER curation. So, friends, why this is important? Because there are lots and lots of OER in the internet, which is, of course, we do not need all those OERs for our teaching learning purposes. So, then as a teacher, our job is, suppose I am a teacher of physics, I have to identify the OERs which are related to physics only, because I do not need all the OERs which are related to like the physics. I need some of the OERs. So, then you have to identify such OERs, you have to organize it, then you have to use it in or administer in your classroom. So, that process is called curation, or we can call it as OER curation, identifying the required resources, organizing it and using it in your teaching learning processes. So, that way OER curation is very important, because we have a good number of OERs available in the internet and we have to select only required for our teaching learning purposes. So, friends, that is OER curation. And let us see how this is done. As I was saying, again, a physics teacher need to identify the OERs which are required for their classrooms. A chemistry teacher need to do the same. A higher education teacher, of course, have to do the same, only the OERs which is required for their classrooms or their programs or courses. So, very important that way OER curation. Since OER curation is an important activity which is relating to a teacher, then one of the important activities the teacher has to carry out is identifying the OERs. And how it is done? You are seeing some of the websites on the screen, like Creative Commons, Directory of Open Educational Resources, OER Common Open Educational Resource, Folk Semantic Discovered. These are some of the specialized search engines, or there are some websites where open educational resources are available. Of course, many open educational resources are available in these websites relating to all the subjects, irrespective of the level of education. So, if you are a teacher of school education, of course, you can make use of these websites to search, identify the OERs related to your subject of teaching. Of course, a higher education teacher can also, of course, visit these websites. So, one of the ways specialized search engines or website we will use, and you are seeing some of such websites or specialized search engines on the screen. Again, the list is not complete. Open Education Consortium, Computer Science Open Education Resources, TIMOA, Open Tapestry. These are also some of the websites which, of course, you can make use of to get the resources which are OER and relating to your subject. Again, friends, let me again discuss something in a different way. Say for example, I am a teacher of face-to-face education or conventional education. I am planning to develop a text material for my students. So, I have to make use of any software for that, like Google Docs or Microsoft Office. Then I will start preparing my Word document, text document. To start with, I will write some paragraph. Then I feel like I should include some images in my text document. Then what usually I do, I'll go to the Google or Yahoo, or there are many such search engines. Then I look for some images which are related to the topic which I have written in the document. So then the problem comes because you cannot take all the images which are available in the internet. Then the second option for the teacher is we can search for open educational resources or image OERs, images which are OER. So why I was saying you cannot take all the images, because this is done by, this is created by, this is developed by somebody else. So you have to take permission of that, the creator, if you are making use of that image. So to get rid of that, you can of course use image which are OERs, or if you feel like something I need to give the videos in my text document, Word document, then I can of course make use of again video OERs, audio OERs I can again make use of. So when I am preparing a text document, even otherwise we can make use of the OERs which are in image format, video format or audio format, and we have seen in the beginning there are different formats. So you can of course, you are free to make use of all those formats when in your teaching learning processes or when you are preparing any text document. So then where we will get the OERs like image OERs, video OERs, audio OERs. Of course, there are some websites where you will not find any copyright issues, because they are already OER and you can of course reuse it for your teaching learning purposes. You are seeing on the screen some of such websites where image OERs are available, like Wikimedia Commons, Pexels, Pixabay, Flickr, etc. If it is video OERs, YouTube, Vimeo, Flix, TEDx, TED ED, TED Talks, then PBS video. Then if it is audio OERs, Audio Archive, Bandcamp and couple of other website. So of course friends, if you are teaching somewhere in school education or higher education, you can of course make use of this website to get OER images, OER videos and OER audios. And the third way is for identifying, you can also go to some OER repositories. Like in India also we have couple of OER repositories like NROER, National Repository of Open Educational Resources. Of course, this is developed by the NCERT. So if you are visiting this NROER, National Repository of Open Educational Resources, then you will find many digital resources which are in audio form, video form, text form. So if you are a teacher, of course you can make use of those resources in your teaching learning processes. In IGNOU also we have a repository, but it is not exactly the open educational resources repository, but of course the videos, the text materials developed by IGNOU are available in that repository, and the name is IGNOU. So you are also free to use that. You have to give credit and acknowledgement to the creators. Then couple of other repositories like Merlot, Sakshat, Wikipedia, TeacherTube and couple of other resources repositories are there, and they are displayed on the screen. So friends, you can of course make use of these repositories also to get OERs related to the topic that you are teaching in your educational institution. So these are some of the ways identifying OERs. This is one of the steps or procedure that you need to carry when you are curating the OER. Now as I said in between, when we are preparing a text document, we have to make use of what we say images which are OER images. We will see how it is done. Again, if you want to get the text as it is which are OER, again there are some ways which is done with Google search engine. We will see how this is done. Again, in YouTube also OER videos are available. We will also see how to identify the OER videos which are available in the YouTube. So, we will be now seeing the demonstration of taking OER text from Google, then OER images from Google, and we will see identifying OER videos which are available in YouTube. So, friends, with this we are summing up, we are winding this video lecture on the topic identification and curation of OERs. In this video lecture, we have seen the relevance of OER curation, and we have seen couple of options for identifying the OERs. So, the OERs which are identified that way, you can use it in your teaching learning processes. I hope you have understood the concepts that we have discussed in this lecture. Thank you.